board when we were proposing that original dock line. I know at the time, we wanted the owner of the land who wanted to put a dock in had to have at least 100 feet along the shore. Is that still hold true?
I think it works out to 87 feet when you take in, if I think there's a number, actually I have it here. So it's not stated in terms of a minimum width, but there are two things that said. One is that no part of the dock or a vessel can be within, I think it's 35 feet of a side yard.
30 feet either side.
30 feet from either side yard.
Side yard.
This is of the vessel.
And the poles.
And the poles.
Right.
If people want poles. And then two docks, there's a minimum spacing between two docks. So I think if you assume that
75.
the poles are 10 feet away from a float, and a float is 8 feet wide, I think you come up with 87 feet.
Okay.
But there are other requirements of properties in terms of how the deeds are written and so on. And so that's why you can't just look at a map and say yes, no, yes, no. Because we've had instances where people have applied for docks and the deed is written not to go to the water line. And so we had to say, send it back.
Okay.
And so it could be, we don't know how to.
Well, that precludes all the property on the old side along Chestnut Avenue in the old area of Poquott, except for one piece of property then, which happens to be next to mine, which is it used to be the Stuckey property. They're the only ones with width significant enough to be able to build a dock if they wanted to. So not much of an issue for that section of Poquott. If you get out towards the Tinker Bluff area, which is still within the mooring area, they have sufficient land to do it.
Did you just say that for them the property doesn't extend to the high water?
Well, I haven't seen the deed, so I don't know.
I think I remember it. Do you remember that? There was
The issue we had there was that the deed did not read to the high water mark. It was strictly to boundaries. And what we found was that the deed, when it was rewritten on the transfer of the property, they dropped one paragraph off the end of the description, which read to the high water mark. So the party had to go back to the original owner and get that deed redone and then rewritten and then refiled to read to the edge of the high water mark. I believe that everything on this side of the harbor reads high water.
And also, if it's written to a certain mark and that mark is underwater, then it's access to high water.
Because high water mark has changed.
Yes.
Mean high water.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is an attempt to sort of balance the interests of the village in preserving things of interest to the village, and allowing property owners with riparian rights to access the water. But our laws do say that residents have the right to walk along and enjoy the foreshore and to be protected from visual pollution, and that I think that they have a right to use the areas below mean high water.
Do we define visual pollution?
Probably not.
The reason I mention that is that one of the comments when we had that proposal to just explore the municipal dock was from somebody who said she felt that the dock would visually impact the shoreline, the natural shoreline, which would imply that for her at least it was visual pollution.
Well, DEC has guidance on what you would define as visual pollution,
There
and
is
it's very
such
subjective.
Yeah.
So you have to go through certain criteria to see whether or not, because it's subjective. One person may think it's pollution, another person may think it's scenic. Yeah, so DEC has, pages and pages of guidance on how you would go through an analysis to figure out if it would be.
So is it implicit that we would defer to this, that would somehow we would be brought in if there was some kind of an argument about that in the law?
Oh, well, that's something we can read up on. Because since the board is gonna request a 12-month extension, we have some time to follow up with these items.
Yes.
Yeah, that's less
We had a
than
12 month.
we said 12.
Well, right,
But,
yeah, okay, yes, it's done, yeah.
Wasn't there something that we discussed a while about saturation or something like that? I don't know if that fits into the definition.
Well, I
of
think
pollution
that
or-
sort of come, we think occasionally about cumulative effects,
That was the word I was looking, thank you.
but that's not talked about anymore. Other comments? So I think we have an interest in getting input, and this was a very short notice, so what I was gonna suggest is we do this again for next month, our meeting next month, and maybe make a little bit more, lead time.
Well, when you let the mayor know what we discussed tonight, could probably make that suggestion, not that go out.
Well, we have a public, we do this anyway, so, but you can do the advertising.
That's what I-
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, yes, but I think we should do,
At least out of courtesy.
Yeah.
yeah, and we can try to answer some of these questions before then. Any other items to discuss? Motion to adjourn. Okay.
Anybody else want to second it, or you guys want to sit here for the rest of the night?
Yeah.